people. You are tuned in to No Way Out But Through. I'm Scott Taylor. I'll be your unreliable narrator. The show is called Past Tense, and it's starting in 3, 2, 1. I'm afraid of bridges, she says. Hot sun, steel cables, traffic. The water slowly rising. Nothing to be done. Now, in a room filled with mirrors, she tells her stories again, and the needles on the machine go crazy. The doctor questions her once more about the yellow birds destined to block out the sun, and the strange piece of metal she found with the map brought back from her dreams. Everything in history, she says, is 5 seconds old. So, 10 years ago, I remember thinking very distinctly that I have finally figured it all out. I understand where I'm going, who I am, and what the past really means. Now, to make this assessment, I was comparing myself to the self I was 10 years before that, which is to say 20 years ago, when I had previously thought that I have finally figured it out. I know where I'm going, who I am, and what the past really means. Now, it turns out I couldn't have been more wrong, except perhaps 10 years before that, when I was as wrong as it gets. Then I was completely in the dark. It was amazing how stupendously wrong I was. Now, as I'm sitting here, and I know what this sounds like. I mean, I know my track record here, but I just want to say that right now, at this moment, I really and truly believe in my heart of hearts that I honestly have my shit figured out, that I understand where I'm going, who I am, and I absolutely know what the past means. 100%. Yesterday, after an absence of almost 100 years, the goats came back to town. Some people have begun selling their worldly possessions. Others think about behaving irresponsibly. The past is a black Buick filled with 40s film gangsters who pull even with you on a winding road on a cliff by the ocean and knock you over the side. On the way down, your life flashes before your eyes, and it's so boring you can't wait to hit bottom. The past is the pitcher who does not bother backing you off the plate with high heat, but simply throws at your unhelmeted head. The past is the catcher who kicks you in the nuts when you're sprawled out on the ground. The past is the umpire who laughs and calls you out. The present is the frog in the pot, and the past is what's turning up the heat. The past is your permanent crazy ex who knows all your passwords and secrets by heart. The past says, order another round. It says, keep on talking. It says, say things without thinking. It says, say things you don't mean. It is your God-given right to speak up and speak out. In fact, let me do all the talking. The past says, what you've said and done is said and done. There is no undo. The past says, do not bother arguing. I am rigid and right and will win every time. The past says, I am all-powerful, all-knowing. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. It says, get down on your knees. past says, the present is nothing. The present doesn't even last for a second. It doesn't exist. The present is a myth. It says, the entirety of your life is in the past. Every single bit of it. It is unchangeable, irreversible, unalterable, and you screwed it up so many times that all you can do now is ride your poor little miserable existence out until it breaks down completely like $100 car. The past says, I am inescapable. I am your masterpiece. I am your immutable body of work. It says, obey. Obey. Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. Obey. 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 Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. Obey. Hey, welcome back. If you're looking for something to do with the kids this weekend, bring them on down to the Armory this Saturday at 10 a.m. for the 3rd annual Ephemeral Art Day. Meet artist and craftsman Jack Tumble. You've likely seen Jack's work at all the gift shops in town, and of course at the airport and bus stations. His myrtlewood carvings are always a big hit with visitors to the area. Jack will teach your kids how to carve and whittle with a knife. First, they'll learn some knife safety from Jack and his assistant, and then work on carving their own cat, dog, or duck. They'll be thrilled by the difference a couple hours can make as they turn an ordinary woodblock into a delightful animal shape. Then Jack's brother Jimmy will fire up the old wood chipper, and the kids will place their newly created masterpieces into the hopper where Jimmy will turn their art into useful and valuable beauty bark. It's a great way to teach the kids that someday they'll pass on, and everything they've done in life will come to naught. As a memento of the day, they'll receive a cubic foot of mulch containing chips from their carving to take home and put on the flower beds. That's Ephemeral Art Day this Saturday, 10 a.m. at the Armory. Admission is free. Thousands of nervous birds fly over the plaza to block out the sun. More on this story as it develops. Popularity poll, says the radio. Save on home furnishings, prepaid phone cards. The best is yet to come. We'll be right back. The new governor steps up to the microphone and begins speaking. Not hear him from where we are standing. A murmur moves through the crowd. Nobody we ask can tell us what's going on. 91 degrees, says the radio. It's going to be a scorcher. Every kind of siren, people shouting, lights flashing, everyone is frantic. I'm running, where am I? I stop to get my bearings and immediately knocked down. I get up and stumble out of the way. The people running by look familiar, but I can't place them. More sirens, fire trucks now. 2 cars crash in the intersection, back away from each other, and drive off. I have no idea where I am, no idea how I got here. In the store window, I get a look at myself and it doesn't make sense. I'm a kid. I look down at my arms. I'm like 13 or something. It's dark out, warm, middle of the night, summer. People are yelling about a fire. I recognize some of the people now, neighbors from when I was in junior high. This is the night the barn was set on fire and took down an entire block with it. It was in the newspaper for months. More police cars. I run to find the neighbor whose house burns down, who dies from complications. I feel like I'm moving in slow motion. I round the corner by the park and see that it's way too late to do anything. Why am I even here? The street lights are off, but the fire flashes, bright as day. The firefighters get the people out, save what they can. Ambulances arriving, paramedics. I see my neighbor taken away on a gurney. I remember that the barn was set on fire by some boys I went to school with, older boys. I see them in the crowd. I remember being shoved face first into the mud, the contents of my lunchbox dumped onto the sidewalk as the bus pulled up. I walk toward a policeman, but stop before I get to him. I can't say anything. I have no proof. I can't know that they did it. Without proof, they might think I did it. Next summer, after an argument, one of the boys will shoot his mother while she sleeps. The other will be in and out of jail until he enlists in the army and dies overseas. I see a girl I went to school with. We make eye contact. Our eyes say to each other, "Can you believe this is happening?" She'll be my girlfriend for a few months in high school. We'll go to different colleges and lose contact. Years later, I'll hear that she died of a broken heart and a failed liver at the age of 32. I resist the urge to go up to her. We barely know each other at this age. I suddenly realize that I'm trapped here, trapped in the past. Everything I know about the future does not help me. It will never help me. I have no idea how I got here, and I have no idea how to get back. I do not want to live it all again, even knowing what I know. The barn collapses. The houses are partly saved. 3 people are taken to a hospital, same as I remember. I spot 2 friends. I slip into the crowd. I cannot possibly talk to them. I walk through my old neighborhood. I want to be back where I belong. I do not want this second chance. People, you have been listening to No Way Out But Through. Transcripts can be found at scott-taylor.net, along with more written content. Links in the description below. This has been a Blue Robot production.